Hello guys, and I want to start my vlog today with sharing some very personal observations, and I do have a feeling that the world is waking up, finally waking up from some really unnecessary hibernation, finally realizing that Russia is not just a problem to Ukraine, but a global threat. Every Ukrainian knows that Putin is illegitimate because, come on, he's the president of Russian Federation for more than 20 years and it's obvious, even without the crimes he commits on a daily basis. But the decision of European Parliament to recognize him illegitimate is a very important signal in the field of diplomacy and other potentially important decisions, like taking away Russian assets. And also, I was happy to read in the news in trustworthy sources that even before the support of the aid package for Ukraine, a good portion of ATACMS long-range missiles traveled to Ukraine and were actually used in Crimea. Let me tell you more about this important update from an ordinary Ukrainian perspective. My name is Anna and I vlog daily from Ukraine since the start of the brutal Russian invasion. So if you're new to the channel, you support Ukraine, please subscribe and help us fight against Russian propaganda and fake news. And I promise we will discuss lots of important HIMARS ATACMS strikes on Russian military objects. That's to come in the next weeks. And my longtime friends, check your subscription status and hit notification button. The decision to recognize Putin illegitimate by the European Parliament is a very important signal to those who doubt, those who don't know how to address him, or still consider a possibility of negotiations between us. I think it is a great mistake of the past years to accept the results of elections in Belarus. Well, maybe not accept, but let them go on. And the same about Putin. There were lots of red flags at the start and the beginning of his career, but we all decided not to escalate and not to interfere, so that now this crazy dictator interferes in our life. But hopefully together we will stop this evil and learn this lesson. Believe me, from my professional life, from my Ukrainian life, I can tell you, if someone wants to occupy a position longer than the law or the contract allows, it is a very worrisome symptom and it will never bring to anything good. So anyway, this decision not being sensational is quite important. Honestly, every Ukrainian knows Putin is not just an illegitimate president, he is an illegitimate human being that should not have any right to breathe the same air as we do. And one of the things that may help us achieve this Putin leaving the planet is the support from the United States and a number of ATACMS long-range missiles that, as rumored, are already in Ukraine. But actually it is no more rumored, it was confirmed by US authorities that the decision was secretly made in March and some of them arrived to Ukraine in April. Honestly, I don't mind such secret decisions, even if I don't know about them, but missiles are working on evil Russian military targets. I'm satisfied. I do understand war, diplomacy, politics, everything is very complicated, and sometimes we have take everything with a pinch of salt. Let me know in the comments below if it's a normal phrase, if I'm using it correctly. But what I mean that sometimes people say one thing and do another thing. And if it is for the benefit of our strength, unity, and for the protection of democracy, I don't mind. If you're new to the channel, subscribe to demonstrate your solidarity. This is the easy but a very effective way to spread more information about Ukraine, and I'm sure together we will witness Ukrainian victory. And this ATACMS long-range missiles is a dream of every Ukrainian, and mine too. And I'm really happy to know they are here, and I'm also interested to read more about the description, the usage, and so on. And from what I understand, perhaps these are the most long-range missiles that we have ever had. Another beautiful symptom that more and more of our partners trust Ukraine and help Ukraine target what is exactly needed. So they can reach 300 kilometers objects, 300 kilometers away objects, and supposedly they were already used in Crimea, which is Ukraine, so we did not cross Russian borders. And there we targeted Russian military airfield in Jankoy, and I've told you about that in one of my previous videos, where they destroyed a number of helicopters, but most importantly, a bunch of really expensive and lacking in Russia and in Crimea, which is Ukraine specifically, lacking S-300, S-400 missile and air defense systems. So that was a very huge explosion, or a number of explosions with detonations, with lots of fires in the skies, and seems like these were ATACMS already. I hope we will see more of them flying in the direction of Russian military objects and potentially Kerch Bridge. I've heard one very beautiful idea that we consider destroying it on the day of Putin's inauguration, illegitimate Putin's inauguration. I think this is a beautiful idea worth Ukrainian character and resilience in this case. But anyway, we now see that with all this politics, with all these complicated things, democratic world becomes more and more united, and Russian trolls are getting crazier and crazier because there are lots of facts that they cannot deny, no matter how much they try to distort it all with their propaganda, with their fake news. And that's why communities like ours are very important, because this unity, this understanding, this support is only possible when people know each other personally. And I'm sure we already experienced that, and that's why I'm super grateful to have you in my life and to have you in the life of the country, because I know how much you do to support democracy, to support Ukraine, to support our soldiers, and me personally. That's why, once again, thank you for buying me coffees and becoming my patrons and helping me learn, work, film more. And I hope that in future you will be interested in some new projects that will appear. And also remember to join me on Instagram, Threads, and Twitter and Discord. I am active there, and our communities are strong on this social media too. And of course, we have a beautiful merch shop where you can find different products to your liking that work well as reminders and conversation starters about Ukraine. And we have to remain mobilized because Russia is a global evil. We realize that before the death, the agony of a monster may be dangerous. But once again, we know that, we are aware, and there is no other choice but win. Slava Ukraini!